Like what?
Well, let's see. Let me back up a little bit and tell you, when I was a little kid, one day, I was 11 years old, I remember this day with great clarity. One day, my mother said, we're gonna go see a movie. And by the way, at the time, she'd had me in piano lessons for 4 years. And I was a, adequate but unremarkable kid taking piano lessons. What I really loved to do in those days was read. And the librarian, who knew me by name, had recently given me a book called The Once and the Future King, which is a telling of the King Arthur story in Camelot. My mom knew that I was taking piano lessons, but I wasn't very musical. I really didn't understand what it meant to make music, but I was really thrilled with this book. And my mom loved musicals. On the stage, in the theater, she loved to go see musicals. So the movie that she took me to see was Camelot. And that movie was a transformative experience to me, because for the first time in my young life, I think I started to understand what it meant to be a storyteller. And I loved reading stories, but I'd never thought about telling stories in those ways. And my mom and I talked about that movie a bunch of times after that, both what the movie meant, but also how it got made. And so, to the extent that I became a storyteller in my life, that movie was the experience that kicked it all off.
He had a vision. He wanted to do this initially on Mount Diablo, but the neighbors up there poo-pooed the idea. So East Bay Regional Park showed him a couple different parks, and they showed him Lake Del Valle. And they basically gave us the weekend up there. Nobody in the park, but there might have been 10 people.
And he was up there nervous, like nobody was going to come.
Yeah.
And I shook his hand, and I'll never forget it. We started going to a festival 10 minutes from us.
We've seen these kids up 20 years. We've seen some of these kids as infants, and now they're working the stage or they're working security.
Oh, yeah.
And, we've seen a full generation of people growing up, and we didn't get any younger either.
Absolutely.
How about two-day town party? Well, everybody's trying to find, a little peace of mind. We're hanging out, drinking on a Friday night, trying to forget all the things that are pissing us off, the things that piss you off. Shitty job, and I can't make no money. Well, it's not enough to keep from going under. I'm trying to hold on to house, to my wife. everybody is hanging out. Today town party, all the honeys are getting down. Keeping the party live here at Today Town. Saturday, I started drinking early. Bloody Mary's made me think I got no worries. I still got time to unwind before I hit the stage. Oh, by now I'm bulletproof. I'm 10 feet tall and super fly. Genius mind and working on my next line.
We first went up, my son was 2, he's now 19, so has to do the math. We had been
12.
yeah, playing the coffee shop circuit, and Tom Thurman happened to be at Panama Bay one night and saw us playing, and I guess they had a band that dropped out because they wanted to be paid, and we didn't want to be paid. We just want to come hang, and so Tom got us in, and we've been up there ever since. I think we played all but 1 year, but even the year we didn't get selected to play, we went up anyway because couldn't miss it.
You know, when we're talking about Today Town, it's more than just music. Not that that's not a great thing on its own, but there's lots of other killer things that are going on through the whole weekend.
We do have, outdoor getting families out in nature, and we have nature walks, and we have recycled arts and crafts, and we have, we're doing outdoor fitness, we're doing yoga on the beaches and massages, and it's just such a precious way to really get out and enjoy the parks and to see a park that you might otherwise never even head out to.
In the twilight of light, where you can see all the reasons I have to set sail tonight. Been away for all these years, alone with my deepest fears. Now I know what's deep in me, exposed for me to see. I see the king of pain today, harbinger of a dead man flame. I see the king of pain today. You're in control of what you're saying. Now I know my secret. I've grown older today. Now I know the heartache of all the souls that remain.
How many volunteers do you have up there over the course of the weekend that are sort of behind the scenes doing things or taking tickets or watching the gates or whatever? How many people is that?
About 250, 300 people. So I have 400 spots, but some of those areas are 24 hours. So they're working 12 to 4 and 4 to 8 in the morning. And we say, wow, thank you so much.
Do we have the porta potties where we need them? How is the stage going to be installed without damaging the grass? How do we ensure that only people with wristbands are in the area and that everybody's safe? It's a 24-hour operation, staffed by volunteers.
So 17.
Actually, what did I do? I'm actually going 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So you're going around in a circle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So we'll do 17 and 18, and those will be the far guitars on that snake. We need to move the snake here
So,
to the other side.
Again?
Yeah. No, we mean again?
We moved it back.
I'm down on my knees, begging you, baby, share your love with me. In town, I hear them preach, telling the things about you I want a speech. Get it out in the open. I don't
actually was our motivator a lot of times to like actually do something different and work on different stuff, and even like write music and stuff like that. Was like, what are we going to do for 2-Day Town next year? Because we always wanted to do something different and better.
Certainly to us, 2-Day Town's the high water mark, and you kind of gauge how you're progressing as a band by your ability to perform at 2-Day Town.
I will also add, we use, and I know I'm not the only band, we'll use that as like the one time a year we're going to do something super special.
Right.
It's like the audience is right, the environment is right, you know, the lighting is great, you want to videotape it. And so like this past year, we had a 3-piece horn section with us, and it was off the hook.
And so that's what happened. Kenny and I were playing music with people and just say, hey, come down here tomorrow morning. We're gonna do a little impromptu concert. So that's how the cafe that used to be there, this is now a cafe stage. Just to give you some history and context, we cheated.
I'll be glad that 2-Day Town, 2-Day Town, put a smile on your face and leave no trace at 2-Day Town. We got all the local talent and ice cold beer. We got musical candy for your ears at 2-Day Town, 2-Day Town, put a smile on your face and leave no trace at 2-Day Town. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay.
And we've had as many as 100 people out there, and people come there with, bring a guitar, a mandolin, a ukulele, whatever, and come and play along and sing along with us. And people get amazing harmonies, and it's all because the family brings the music out.
The after-hour jams that I've jammed many times. We've seen the sun come up.
And they're all over the place. And I mean, you'll see the jazz jam will have like, you know, a stand-up bass and horns, and then there'll be a bunch of guitars, of course. But and sometimes these go on and on. I mean, on into the night.
You know, one of the big things, we pride ourselves on being a leave no trace event.
I like the idea of leaving it better, in better condition than when we got there.
So one of the things that we do when we get there is actually we remove all of the trash cans in the facility. Monday before everybody leaves, we roll them all back and put them back where they were.
But that's because you want the people who are attending 2-Day Town and who are camping down by the lake to pack out whatever they packed in. Not even their trash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Treat the park better than it gets treated most of the time.
Face it, you're addicted to love.
We're in a totally different world, among friends, in an environment that is spectacular. And rain or shine, we're there the last weekend in April.
There's family that you're born with and the family that you choose. And for me, Two-Day Town is chosen family.
Everybody knows everybody. I've often said that it's like a get-together with 1,500 of my closest friends.
It's a family reunion.
Unlike any other, let's call it a commercial endeavor, this is all volunteers.
Right.
This is true grit from every member of the community.
For me, with the volunteers, it's a labor of love, and Evening Town's a labor of love.
Yeah. James was taken around all the different parks, and that particular park, when they first went in there and looked at it, James thought, this is a great place. It's covered with the hills. You know, we'll be able to secure everything here. We'll take the whole thing.
I did want to say another thing that sets this one apart from a lot of stuff that happens in this area is the deep focus on original music. And that, I think, is really important. And, you know, I feel bad. Sometimes there's a lot of great, well-known bands in the area, and they're not a regular part of Two-Day Town. And partly when the submission process, when people apply to perform, the deep desire to encourage and support the creation of new music, and frankly, the number of venues and wineries in the Livermore Valley that host live music that's original is unprecedented.
Right. One of the things that I think about Two-Day Town is the relationship between it and live music in Livermore in general, because the two things are mutually supportive, right? I mean, there's some bands that play around Livermore, they're really good bands that they don't do Two-Day Town, but a lot of them do. And so we all kind of know each other, and we all, you know, want each other to do well, but we're competitive, and we see the Mondays do some incredible thing, and we're like, all right, next year, you know, we're gonna do that. But I think it raises the level of music around the community.
East Bay Regional Park District is one of the greatest park districts we have in the country, and there are over 75 parks and over 125,000 acres of land, of which Del Valle is one of them. And I think Del Valle is a real jewel.
It's extraordinary because no one refuses to help.
Right.
You just ask for help, and people will.
You kind of get.
It's a reciprocal relationship. Everybody's there for the same reason, which is to benefit from this experience. And for living in Livermore, we're extraordinarily blessed.
It wasn't a Two-Day Town 2019. It was just a hiccup, and it was we were unable to put it on. But so Two-Day Town 2020 is coming up. It's the first time we've done it in 2 years.
Ooh, look at that. We're live now. Hey, check it out, everybody. Quarantown is live. So, y'all.
Welcome, everybody. How's
share
everybody
yourselves.
doing today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. Welcome to Quarantown. I know it's typical right now that we are stumbling around in a beautiful, beautiful setting next to a lake. Some of us are doing so virtually. Thank you, Cameron. But instead, we find ourselves in a precarious situation that leaves us to be quarantined. But that shan't stop us from enjoying the beauty of Two-Day Town. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We bring to you, from Two-Day Town and Livermore Live Music, Quarantown.
We had this idea that we maybe could do a thing that would help keep the spirit alive. But, I mean, all the technology in the world wasn't going to mean squat if all these people didn't show up, and there weren't all these thousands of folks out there, you know, on Facebook who wanted to watch it and who wanted to have a Quarantown or a Two-Day Town weekend. And, I mean, Livermore is just an incredible community. I don't know where else this could have happened. So thank everybody for that so much. I'm hoping that we have some more, you know, technology-based distributed music things happen, but I also hope this is the last Quarantown.
Yeah. Agreed. You know, it's bittersweet, right? We would love to be in a tent right now. I'd love to be, you know, right there overlooking the lake with a guitar in my hand and seeing all of your smiling faces. But alas, we shan't be there now, and wasn't last year either. But, you know, that's sort of what the cards are. But what we do have for you is an incredible experience. We hope that you are, wherever you are, in that same Two-Day Town spirit. May you be by a fire. May you be outside. May you be inside, nestled close to loved ones.
Hey, for one last chance, if you want, head to twodaytown.com, find that shop, get yourself some Quarantown merch before it disappears forever, and get yourself some new Two-Day Town swag. And if we're lucky, you all can come and pay tribute to the most amazing 2-Day Town hats that was ever created in the history of hats. This was given to me at the Not 2-Day Town, and I hope to have it up real soon and hang out with all of my friends at 2-Day Town.
We're all gonna die someday, so you better lay them tracks straight. Sing it! Make right with the ones you've wronged before it's too late. Not be no maker, not be no pearly gate. Come on, tell me! So you better lay them tracks straight. Straight, hang round with the ones you love before it's too late. Not be a mortal, not too many mistakes. We're all gonna die someday, so you better lay them tracks straight.
I got a great band I want to come play, but it's more for the community. We'd always tell them, if you want to play, come hang out, go to the jam sessions, get to know people. Because we prefer, it's more like a community there.
Yes.
And the people that get to go up on the stage is kind of a reward.
And there's a selection process, and part of it is, do they come to 2-Day Town for the entire weekend, and do they camp?
It's been a great run, and I don't foresee it ending.
Yeah.
I just see it getting better because the quality of the people that are running this are top drawer.
we live in Camelot. I mean, we do. Which is something to be mindful of, is like, avoiding the pitfalls that befell.
In the story of Camelot, in the metaphor that Camelot is, and in the story of 2-Day Town, there's a one or two people who have a great idea and they think about how to make that idea happen and how people should conduct themselves in order for that to happen. And might doesn't make right, and volunteer and leave no trace. And if I may, government for the people and by the people, right? These are all important things. It's not a foregone conclusion that they will all continue, and you hope that they do, but if they're going to, it's because people have to care, they have to get involved. There's a third thing that's important to me about why I made Two-Day Movie at this point and why the story is what it is, which is, okay, so it's not a foregone conclusion and it's gonna go forward. We hope it does. Hope's not enough. People have to get involved. But if it doesn't, then I wanted to document this beautiful thing that did happen and just recognize that it came together. And I don't know how many people will understand the illusion here, but don't let it be forgot that once there was a spot. And that's all I can say about that.